Perfectly excellent.
Hey!
Welcome, everybody. How's it going, party people? It's time for Perfectly Excellent. Our round 2 for the day, because we apparently are mildly insane. I do not know why we thought it's a good idea to do 2 shows in one day, but hey, we think it's a good idea. Let's see if it is or not.
There's lots to talk about, and we're switching gears completely from our previous stream. So
yeah, if you haven't seen it, we did something earlier today with Fernando talking about video games and nostalgic video games, and it was a really fun conversation. Really cool to have Fernando on. Definitely want to have him back on again. But we're going to leave the video games there. Go watch that. It's fun.
Yep.
And we're going to bring the world to something that happened this past weekend that we'll talk about in just a minute. But everything going okay with you? You recovered with our 2-hour break?
We did. I had some dinner. I did some dishes, and yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm feeling good. I've still got energy. I think that may fade rapidly, but let's see where it takes us. Once we start talking there, I'm excited to talk about these things. So I think we'll be
all right. So let's start it off with the invention exchange.
Perfectly excellent.
All right, our second one of the day. I'm actually going to ask if you would go first, because mine kind of ties into the next mini topic before the big topic.
So my question to you before I begin is, how many invention exchanges can we do in one day where we don't run out of things? Like, that wasn't even a concern, right? That like doing 2 of these in one day.
I'd probably be good for at least 6 or 7 if forced.
We should do one episode purely of invention exchanges.
But then I'm like, if I did all 6 of those, I wouldn't have anything to do in a week, because I actually don't think I have anything showing up.
All right. Well, so I will go first. We previously today we talked about video games. I think I play more video games than you do these days. I don't play as much as I used to, but I do play a lot, and I do play some Star Wars video games from time to time. And it's very exciting when they're good games, because Star Wars has a lot of bad games over the years. But the Jedi Survivor games, or the Fallen Order and Jedi Survivors, awesome games, great characters, great narratives, to the point where I think it's almost worth watching. I'm sure there's compilations of just the cutscenes, so you can see, what happens there. But throughout these games, there is a character called Merrin, and she is a Night Sister, but she's kind of like a angsty young Night Sister, not like a angsty old one. I guess they're all angsty.
They're all kind of angsty. There's a lot of angsty. So Dathomir is a very angsty place.
It is. It's like, very emo and in goth over there. But she's just such an amazing, amazing character. Like, and they're the back and forth between her and Cal Kestis, the main character from those games, it's so awesome. And it took them a long time, but Hasbro has finally released, can't really see so good, a Merrin figure in their Gaming Greats line.
All right.
I think she looks awesome. Super psyched. I love when they do these types of characters, especially if like the video game, and it's not a deep cut, but something not from the what is it, the entertainment, or is the entertainment?
You're not entertained?
I'm entertained, but I don't know what is proper entertainment,
Gotcha.
In that guy's mind. But yes, super, super psyched. She just showed up, and I'm itching to get her out of the box and in front of my camera. Great character. Highly recommend you go check out some cutscenes with her. She's a lot of fun in the games. So, ta-da!
Ta-da! Ta-da! We'll be talking a little bit more about some Star Warsy stuff a little bit later on.
Yes.
So, I also have figures in the same shape box.
No way. Yeah.
So one is my Target exclusive breaker. Showed up. Mass device breaker. Got him.
I was wondering what the mass was there. Like, it looked like the actual buttons from the Mystery Science Theater, like their movie button.
Yeah. No, but I'm really psyched because he's mostly portrayed in the comic with bubblegum, so you kind of know who's who. So I'm psyched that they have the bubblegum head.
Awesome.
Also, I was going to show the box, but I took the other one out of the box because I was just way too excited for it. My claw showed up.
Wow, look at that. That's super, super cool. Is it a flying toy?
Yeah. And
it doesn't
comes
actually
with a
fly?
pilot. I was not going to keep the pilot, except it just stands so perfectly on the pilot. So
who was going to receive this if not for the pilot?
The Cobra Trooper. And when I tried to do it, the Cobra Trooper was a little too tall and it became not entirely stable.
Entirely. I'm glad you're here to tell us these things.
Yeah, so I went with the actual pilot that it comes with, and it stands up on the shelf perfectly. Doesn't even take up too much space, which is a big concern about vehicles.
Question though, is this a vehicle?
Yes,
and you're okay with it?
I'm okay with it because it's minute.
Minute, yes. Does not look very minute.
Yeah. So the last figure that showed up.
Oh wait, there's more.
There's one more. And this is the figure from the previous HasLab, the Rattler that I did not back. But I needed the figure because Rattler came out in 84 or 85, so it's in that time spot. So I got my Wild Weasel.
Nice. I remember this dude.
Yeah. He was far too expensive.
But do you feel better about getting him the way you did versus...
No, I should have backed the thing, but I wasn't collecting the line at that point. I was kind of still all in on the Super 7 stuff until they abandoned their line. I should have done that. I would have been able to easily sell the Rattler and the other tiers, and that figure would have been free as opposed to it costing way too much money. But considering how much it's selling for, I got it for I don't want to say a reasonable price, but in comparison, I got it for an okay price.
Okay. Does this new knowledge now impact a decision we're going to talk about momentarily?
Perfectly excellent.
This moment is upon us.
So that's kind of why I wanted to kind of go second, because I figured this would just turn into a very, very quick conversation. So does that change my feelings about backing the Snowcat? Because again, I only really want that one main figure, Frostbite. It definitely puts its thumb on the scale a little bit.
Okay.
I'm leaning a little more towards backing it, but I'm still really nervous about doing so without the other tiers getting unlocked.
And where are we right now?
Right now, we are at 7,505 backers.
How many are needed? 8,000?
To get the minimum 8,000. So it should do that pretty easily, I think. Over the there's 14 days left. Over the last 10 days, we've added about 500 to it. Yeah. So, and that's like in the middle doldrums when not a ton of people usually do that.
Yeah, it's like the beginning, right? And then the end, or when people jump.
So the fact that through that middle chunk, it got 500 over 10 days, it's pretty reasonable to assume it will fund. It's just like how many of the tiers are going to fund. Because again, I'm kind of like, if all tiers fund, it's a no-brainer. I will absolutely not lose a ton of money on just getting the figure. I'll be okay on the other stuff. If it's the minimum tier, again, I don't know how much I'm going to be able to sell the vehicle for without the figure that drives it. That feels like an odd thing for someone else to buy. So, and I don't want to get stuck with it because it's huge. You know, you've seen the pictures. It's just gigantic. I don't have room for that thing. So I'm leaning more towards backing it, even if it gets minimum, because it's going to be like the lowest produced figure they've ever done if that happens.
This is dragon reasoning you're doing now. This is exactly what they were saying about those guys too.
But it's true. So that's just going to make it more expensive to try to pick up the figure on its own later. So the other thing, and I don't know if I've said it on the show, but I think I might have told you separately, is I did get a little unexpected bonus from work that was $300 that almost essentially would pay for it. So I immediately took that $300 and I moved it into my savings account so it would just sort of stay there. It's still it's a work in progress. We're probably leaning more towards yes than no. But again, gun to my head, if it ended today, I'd have a really tough time pulling that trigger because I'd be worried that it's just like that's a lot of money to throw down when between now and next year the world could potentially end.
Yes, it could
but
be.
Then I wouldn't have to pay it back. So
But you would have paid it back by then, wouldn't you?
Oh, I guess if I use the money I saved, yeah. Because I was just thinking of you just put it on the credit card, but
that bill will probably come before the end of the year. Not that the end of the year is probably not imminent, but I think there's a billing cycle probably
somewhere between them. Yeah. All right. So it goes.
Well, cool. It's exciting. And you said there's 14 days left.
14 days left. 800 to fund, and that brings us to 8,000. It's 10,000 for tier 1, which is a Lady J figure. 12,000 for tier 2, which is like the bivouac camping set, and 14,000 for tier 3, which is a Flint figure. And again, if all of that funds, it's a slam dunk because people are gonna want the Flint and Lady J figures. So I should very easily get my money back.
What's the buzz on the street for this? Are people excited or is it?
It's funny because a lot of people are really down on it, and it's not doing as well as the prior ones have, but it's doing well, But a lot of people are just like, oh, people don't want it because it's terrain specific. Because it's snow.
That's a term I have not heard. I know exactly what it means, but that is such a bizarre term.
And I'm just thinking, like, these are the same people that are always asking for boats, which last I checked, that's a terrain, I'm pretty sure. So, and again, I'm all about the boats. I want the hovercraft and I want the hydrofoil, and those are two vehicles that I would make room for, no matter how big and stupid they are.
Terrain specific. I can't do it. I can't do terrain specific.
Yeah, so it's weird, but some people are down on it because it's snow. Some people are down on it because they don't feel it's as iconic as some of the other vehicles that are out there. Some people are down on it because they wanted one of the tanks because there hasn't been a tank yet. Okay. And I sort of understand all of this, but like it's going to fund. So to call it a failure, which people like to go, oh, this is a total failure. They don't know what they're doing. It's like it's gonna fund, so it's not a failure.
All right. I'm gonna cast my vote on this right now. I'm gonna say it funds. I don't know if it fully funds, but 10,000. I think it crosses that line.
That's the Lady J figure. I'll feel better about it if they get the bivouac. I think that bivouac camping set is a big deal, and if it gets to that, again, that's probably all right, I'll pull the trigger on it.
All right. And I can't hear the word bivouac without thinking of Jawbreaker screaming bivouac, but moving on.
But not the band Bivouac?
No, I think about them too, but you say bivouac and I want to just yell it.
Yeah. Okay.
Awesome. Well, great update. I'm excited. I like that things are kind of shifting a little bit. I like where we're going with this. And that guy too. I'm assuming when he's flying, he doesn't have that stand attached to his foot.
Not usually. No.
Yeah, that doesn't seem aerodynamically,
I love this stupid thing, and it's very much making me go, man, there were a couple other little vehicles that I missed that I'm kind of like, because they're
where's the armor thing? Didn't you get that or you canceled that?
No, a friend of mine ordered an extra, so I'm going to get his. It just hasn't come in yet.
Okay. It didn't come in.
It's still on order, though.
Still on order. Yeah, I can't wait to see that thing.
It is not as minute, but in comparison, it's still somewhat minute.
Yeah, it's not SML.
Ready?
I'm ready. Let's do this. There's a thing.
Perfectly excellent.
Oh, there was a thing there. I saw that.
San Diego.
I know. How can you not, right? You can't help yourself.
Well, that's the music too.
Yes. So there was a thing in San Diego, speaking of.
Yeah, there was a convention of comics. I don't really care about comics.
Really?
No.
I like comics, but I was more excited about when these things come to town, about all the other news, because they're all encompassing of like nerdom, movies, toys. I feel like lately they haven't quite had the video games that they used to, or at least they don't get any attention. But those used to be at New York Comic Con. They used to have all the demo stations up. And then I guess there's comics there, but I didn't hear any comic announcements.
I didn't really hear much in the way of like movie announcement stuff either. It seemed like there was a lot of toy stuff, which obviously we're going to talk a lot about that, but there was just, I feel like no overall pop culture news seemed to be emanating from it this year.
Yeah, see, so riddle me this, because I wondered if that was just me and the news and the people that I was following, because that I felt very toy heavy, toy centric, but I did not catch a lot of, like you said, there was no big announcements, no big trailers, or at least
there's no Disney stuff there. So like there was no Marvel or Star Wars or any of that, like no show announcements. I can't really think of anything that came out of there that wasn't related to a collectible of some sort.
George Lucas was at a thing, but I don't know what
it was, but he was just talking about his museum.
Oh, okay. So not a thing.
No, not an entertainment.
Yeah. So definitely a weird one. Not to say that there weren't things that were exciting, but
there were.
It wasn't. Yeah, my list is certainly not very varied with my takeaways. They are pretty toy heavy here.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we are going to just sort of recap. We're going to go back and forth and recap some of the more notable moments of San Diego Comic-Con. Good, bad, indifferent, because there are some things that are on my list are not necessarily like a highlight. It's just kind of a, huh. So I'm going to bring up the slides, and we're going to start with my honorable mention before we break into I feel weird calling it a top 5, but maybe the most 5 notable things that I saw. But my honorable mention is also something that you have something to say about.
I do have something to say.
So my honorable mention here are the Tick figures that were shown from Longbox Heroes, who I think is sort of like a subsidiary of Big Bad Toy Store. I know they're connected in some way, but I don't totally understand how. But Tick, cool. Like Tick, always liked that cartoon. I pretty much liked every version that they've ever done of any Tick thing. It's always highly amusing to me.
Yes.
I've never had any Tick figures. I don't really need any Tick figures. It's not something that I absolutely have to have. But that Chairface figure. Because Chairface is my favorite character. And that's one that makes me just, things that make you go, that's one of them. But, you can't buy Chairface without, at the bare minimum, buying Tick. And then it's a slippery slope, because if they make American May, Dinosaur Neil, like there's so many cool potential things that could happen.
There's got to be an Arthur. I need an Arthur.
Yeah. I'm surprised there isn't one already. And the fact that we got Beach Tick is kind of fun. And I know you may have already
See, so Longbox Heroes, they've put up a Tick figure. And it looked great, really tempting, but I easily stayed away from pre-ordering that because there really wasn't much to it. I don't remember it coming with much in the way of accessories, but damn this vacation Tick, damn it all to hell, because I saw this and like it spoke right to my heart immediately. Again, Chairface is great, but I can't get Chairface and not the Tick. Like you'd have to get, I would need the Tick first and a Chairface potentially. So I did pre-order this. I don't know if I'm going to keep it. Right now it's kind of like the hype talking, but I love the fact that he has a beach towel, he has a surfboard, his little his bathing suit, the beach ball. It's just like, it speaks to me. So.
And they didn't put up the Chairface pre-order, right? It's just Vacation Tick.
I did not see it yet. No.
So we'll see. Again, this might be one of those things that maybe I would backtrack if they start doing some more characters, because like I can only really think of this in terms of like how I would display it. And I don't know what I would do with just these 2 random figures. I don't really have a home. I need to kind of create a little cubby for a line. So but man, that Chairface figure looks so awesome.
Why do they call him Chairface? I just can't.
It's because he sits.
Yes, can't quite figure it out. Yeah, that was a deep cut. I did not expect that. Like I would have expected more of the heroes first before they went into the villains. But yeah, really cool. I'll be eager to watch and see where this line goes, like you said.
All right, so now we're going to go to your honorable mention.
I had an honorable mention, yes. So this was from Hasbro themselves. this Luke and Darth Bespin battle set. Like, you and I have talked in the past about Bespin Luke. I know he was like, you have like a affectionate, or you have this, I don't know whether I'm coming up with the wrong word. He means something to you because you had him as a kid.
That was the only Luke figure I had when I was a kid. So that was my Luke.
Yes. And I had other Lukes, but I loved the Bespin fatigues. Like, I always liked this outfit. I thought even in Empire, like, Luke looks great in it. And we could do a whole nother sidebar topic about how I think the Jedi should have looked and dressed, because Luke had it. He had the styles, and for some reason they made them hermits. I'll never understand that. But anyway, I think this is a cool set. I remember the price was either 60 or $70, which for 2 figures and the little diorama piece isn't terrible, but I don't know that I would get the mileage out of beat up Luke versus just kind of regular Bespin Luke. And I think I already have 2 Darth Vaders, so I certainly do not need another one. And if I really wanted to be critical on this, like, these diorama pieces are already available to 3D print. So you could theoretically make your own. It's nice when companies like Hasbro do that, because they obviously, have the budget to make them super nice and you don't have to paint it yourselves. But I don't know. I think this is a cool set. I like things like this. I don't think I will go in for it. If they sold that Luke on its own, I would probably consider it. But I don't know. This is really neat though. It looks cool.
Yeah,
Good,
I already have a Bespin Luke, and while it's not the best looking figure in the line, it's totally fine. So I'm fine with it. I don't need a beat up Luke. Plus, this is going to be one of those like on sale tomorrow at like 2:00 or something like that, after the premium members get a crack at it. So this might not even be a thing you'll be able to get.
Oh, is it? I thought it was already available for regular people.
Oh wait, I might be confusing it with there's another Star Wars team.
Oh yeah, the Anakin and Obi-Wan thing. I'm sure that one's probably long gone.
Yeah, because there's a GI Joe thing on pre-order. Like, there's the San Diego Comic-Con GI Joe exclusive tomorrow that I don't have any interest. It's the band set, the Colt Slither set. But I know that's going up tomorrow, and I have some friends that are hoping to get their hands on one of those.
Well, good luck to everybody. Happy hunting.
Good luck. All right, so moving into 5. I started with this.
Okay.
Because
tell me about this.
This is a real kind of head scratcher for me. So I like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, mostly because my brother was a huge fan when he was a little kid. So like, I just sort of glommed onto it, osmosis. I ended up liking it too. And obviously Godzilla is one of my favorite things that there is. But these collaboration figures that are happening all over the place, I'm not digging these. They're happening everywhere. There's, Ninja Turtles and He-Man crossover. There's a bunch of He-Man ones going on, like He-Man and Thundercats. And I realized that this is something that the Ninja Turtle line has been doing since the 90s. I remember my little brother ended up with like Star Trek Ninja Turtles that, like, I guess my mom thought might be worth money someday. So like, they kept them in a box or whatever. But I think these are so dumb, and I think they look terrible, and they don't even make sense, because you got Raphael as Rodan, you got Leonardo as Godzilla, and you have Michelangelo as King Ghidorah. King Ghidorah is a bad guy. You would make like Shredder King Ghidorah or something like that. Like these I just look at this and I just go, what are they doing? This is so stupid.
So again, confusing to me, because you are a big Godzilla fan.
Yes.
So you like the Turtles, but if these are not for you, who are these for?
I have no idea. And like, again, the concept of it is kind of dumb. The execution of it, like, I think these figures look horrible.
I don't know. I don't really know what to make of these guys.
I don't get it at all.
Yeah,
I try to bring positivity, I don't want to talk about all of the crummy stuff out there, but like, when I was looking through the reveals at Comic-Con, I just kept looking at this going, what is this? Like you said, who is this for?
But you're right. If somebody's psyched about it, then good on you, right? Like, we talked about that, why Comic-Con was happening. Just like, it's cool to see people excited about things. Yeah. It's funny though, when something is like, within such proximity to something that you hold near and dear, but it's just like a misfire. But hey, somebody was excited about this. Someone came up with this concept. They put it together, and I hope whoever sees these things and is freaking out enjoys them when they land on their plate.
I hope so too. I hope someone loves it. I don't get it, and I certainly wouldn't have executed it like this. So,
What would
but
you have done?
it was definitely one of the top 5 most interesting things I saw, because I spent a lot of brain power thinking about this, going, what are they doing?
So what would you have done? What is the Godzilla
Not this.
collaboration? Nothing?
No, I mean, maybe with Gamera, I'd like to see some Gamera figures in there, but like, I don't like mishmashed stuff like this. It doesn't make sense to me. You know, yeah, I don't know. It's not for me. It never has been.
Yep. No, sir. Don't like it.
Do you like this?
Hey, we've now gone from the mishmash to like the sweet and like Sesame Street. Doesn't get more wholesome than that, right? And now we've seen these before. But NECA's really going in there. There's some new announcements. I absolutely love these. I only have the count so far. I don't know how deep I'm going to go into this line, but like Oscar's a definite. Like he just looks so great. But like I look how awesome they look. I mean, this just fills me with joy.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Sesame Street quite a bit. I watched Sesame Street, of course, as a kid. But I did these figures aren't necessarily for me. But like the diner guy, like he rules. I don't know what his name is, but the fly in my soup guy. I'm excited that they made him.
Yeah, I hope they get weird with this, like, and just keep doing more things. Like,
well, like Super 7, like Super 7's doing like some, like, I really like their, I don't have any of them, but I like that they're going like nuts with their reaction figures. Like the guy, like, you want to buy a Q? Like that guy, they made a figure of him. Like that's good stuff.
Yeah, and I think they saw one of their exclusives was Super Grover, which I would have been really keen on, but I don't think I'm gonna. I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna pick up any of those Super 7 reaction ones anymore because I really like the NECA ones. So
cool.
Yeah, good stuff. But I love it. They all come with like just good accessories. I think they really nailed the expressions on them. I have no idea when any of these are gonna come out or anything, but I'm looking forward to them.
All right. So my number 4 is Sectors. Mm-hmm. And Nacelle is they put out like 2 Sectors figures. I mean, maybe they've done more than 2 at this point, but they put out 2 figures a while ago, like years ago. I think it was kind of one of their first forays into actually making toys. And to me, the interesting thing about Sectors isn't the figures. It's these weirdo creature puppet things.
The tours.
Yeah. I had one of them when I was a kid. Neither of these 2. I had one of the other ones that came with like a spider beetle-y looking guy.
Sure.
And I thought that figure was awesome. I only had that one. I didn't really have any other ones. So it mostly just kind of played with my He-Man figures for, usually. But I think it's really cool that they're going through and they're going to make the insects, the steeds, if you will.
Sure.
So I was psyched to see it. It's not for me. I'm not going to buy them. But I'm glad that they are going to exist because this is one of those lines from the 80s that I've always had a soft spot for.
All right. So quick recap here. So we looked at the Sectors, looked at Sesame Street, the Turtle Godzilla, and the Tick. And you are no on the Tick. You're no on the Sectors. You're definitely no on the Turtles Godzilla. So yeah, so I can see what you say about this year's Comic-Con. Nothing really sticking.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get there.
We'll get there. Hey, talking about sticking, I don't know what that means, but so Invincible, awesome animation. Love it. And I have the figures, not all of them, but Diamond Select released a good number of figures from the show. Diamond Select is now no longer of this earth. I guess they are gone. So kind of sad to see, that line just stop there. So it's cool that Jada Toys or Jada Toys, however you pronounce that, is going to be picking up the Invincible license. And I know these are prototypes. I'll be honest. I don't want to say anything bad. I'm not super psyched about these yet, but I think they're still working them, and they're still going to be, retooling them, and figuring things out. But I'm happy to see where this goes and see what they do with them. The Diamond Select figures, they're not great themselves, but yeah, let's see where we go. I like that they are starting out a little different. They're starting out with his blue suit there. We got his brother, and I forgot the other dude's name, who comes and beats him to a pulp. But yeah, it's cool stuff. I think this
that's Wilfred Brimley, isn't it?
I believe it is. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, look at that grip. And again, I don't know that I'd be in for any of these three. Maybe his brother there, but I'll see. I'm eager to watch and see how this unfolds. Thing with Jada Toys too is they're not super expensive. Right. So, it's easy to be like, okay, I'll just go on in on the whole line, and you could still come out ahead versus some other figure line. So
is this their first wave?
This is the first wave. Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess stay tuned. Is that like, I don't know the show at all. So is that blue version of the guy in the middle? Is that like his early iteration, or?
No, that's his newest version. If you look in the background, the yellow and blue that he's got going on there, that's his first suit. And then he updates his look. And so he goes with the blue one. Again, I prefer the more iconic, like blue and yellow look, but it's cool that they do it. I like, I like the variety and not sticking to the basics here. So.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I got a couple slides here. So the number 3 notables for me there was a whole pile of Masters of the Universe Origins stuff that came out. There's also some Masterverse, but that's not a line that I collect, so I didn't want to end up with 40 slides. Okay. So these two are 100% buys for me. Dragstore is one of the original vintage figures, so they're finally putting out one more of them. I think they might have 6 left to make at this point. So I definitely had to get Dragstore. And then this new character, Stingor, I just think he looks the business. He's a rad looking figure. He's a brand new one. He's not really from anything, but I dig him the most. So I'm psyched to get these two.
Look, he looks pretty psyched to sting you there. Like he's all in on this. That's pure evil.
Yeah, it's a good look. He's part of the Horde. We need some more Horde guys. We have way too many Snake Men. I'm psyched for them to do some work with the Horde. But I was really psyched to finally see yet another vintage figure. But man, they got to finish that lineup. And that's one of my big complaints about the next batch of stuff I'm going to show. They're doing all of these things, but just give me those last 6 figures, please.
Who makes these?
Mattel.
Okay.
So this is another group of figures that they showed. So one, we have the sketch concept version of Spycore, which is okay looking. Like I have a couple of the other sketch ones because I think they're just very unique looking. They look kind of like brand new figures, but they're of that era because they were designed in the 80s. I don't think this version of Spycore is different enough from his other one, aside from the color, to really warrant adding him. I don't need it. It's cool. But again, I would rather you do some more of the vintage figures. Sure. And then we got another mashup thing here where we got He-Man guys wearing Transformers armor. And
this is weird.
I don't get it. I mean, at least they're not trying to pretend they're like robots or anything like that. At least it's just armor. But this is another one of those things that I don't understand who this is for. And I love He-Man and I really like Transformers, and I could not have less interest in these.
Yeah, again, if this is your thing, awesome. More power to you. I'm psyched that you're psyched. But it is weird that like if you're not that target demographic for liking both things, I mean, I guess there's just people who, hey, this is a cool, quirky mashup, and I'm in.
And it also just seems odd to not start with a He-Man Optimus thing. Like it's sort of odd to start with Man-at-Arms.
Who is Man-at-Arms? What armor is he wearing?
He's wearing Bumblebee's armor.
Yeah.
It's weird. I don't get it. I don't get it. So then they're doing an Amazon exclusive Castle Grayskull repaint, which is supposed to sort of look like some of the concept art with the way it's colored. And they did the playmat. The playmat is actually really cool because that's something that was supposed to come with the original Castle Grayskull in the 80s, but I think it got like costed out, so they never did it. So they made one for this, which I think that's really cool. But again, chances are if you really wanted a Castle Grayskull, you probably have it already. you know, because this is the second one they've done for the Origins line. Like, I have one. Like, they ended up going on sale for like $30. So even I bought
did they?
one. They were
Oh,
so
man.
cheap that I bought one, and it's just in a box in my closet.
Well, let me know if you see this go on sale, because I'd like to get one, but not for Masters of the Universe. I just want to paint it up. So
yeah, but I mean, it's a cool looking set. You probably can't see it, but right over the word castle, there's a little robot guy. There's a suit of armor robot guy. That was just a piece of cardboard in the original one, so they made a figure out of it, which this figure has existed before. I bought this figure as part of a PowerCon exclusive set a few years ago, but it's cool that they're getting that figure back out there again. But again, I don't need this. I have one, and I'm curious to see how this actually does, considering that they made Castle Grayskull already, and this one just looks like someone spilled glow in the dark paint on it.
it does. How much does this thing sell for?
I am not sure, but I think like $80 or $90.
Okay, at least it's not terrible. That doesn't sound bad.
It's not too bad. It might be a little bit more than that, but it's about. I think it's about that price. I didn't check. I should have.
Yeah, you know, I've been wanting to get one of these again just to paint up for for photos to use. And I'm surprised at the toy shows I haven't found like a junky beaten up one that's cheap. People think they're sitting on gold with some of these. So,
but the last He-Man slide I have is they also showed off. They're going to start doing the 200X series figures, and they showed off like a bunch of them, like how many, like 13 figures here. And again, I'm psyched that they're doing these. I think this is cool. It's actually a really good cartoon. Like it's a really interesting take on the Masters of the Universe stuff. And I watched a bunch of the episodes back when it came out in the early 2000s, and I genuinely enjoy it. And the figures that they did back then really kind of jump-started the Masters of the Universe kind of being a thing again that like toy people cared about. So I'm psyched that they're doing this, but again, they're not figures that I'm probably going to end up getting, because I don't really have the room to do like a whole nother wave of different versions of characters that I already have. I want to just kind of finish off the vintage series and then just sort of buy interesting characters that are sort of that type. And just that's how I want to curate my Masters of the Universe Origins collection going forward. This is too much. I can't bite into another apple.
No, I mean, it makes sense. And it's good that you have a plan, because it's why I saw lots of different Masters of the Universe stuff at Comic-Con. I don't know what's what, but it seems like, I mean, there's a lot. So you have to you got to stay in your lane with this stuff a little bit.
Otherwise it's too much. And like, you know, I have two of my Detolfs over here are dedicated to Masters of the Universe, and like they have to stay in those confines. I cannot expand them out to another case. I don't have room for another case, and I don't have anything else I'm willing to sacrifice to expand that collection.
All right. Well, it's good you've set your limits, so you know what you're up against there.
You know, as Del the Funky Homo Sapien once said, MCs should know their limitations.
They should. Oh, it's my turn.
Yep.
Wow. So when it comes to spaceships, and I've probably said this before, I do love spaceships. And I think while the X-Wing is probably one of the most iconic spaceships of all time, the Viper has always been a very close second in my heart. I've never owned one, at least not one that I could remember. And just seeing this was the one thing I think that really stopped me in my tracks. I've never heard of Factory Entertainment before. Apparently they make replica props and things like that. But this thing, and you know, they have their line of the 3 3/4 inch figures to go with it. But that ship is just so beautiful. And I would very much like to have that, please. Please and thank you.
It definitely looks the business, and I'm not really familiar with the original show from the 70s. I actually have this one bizarrely specific memory of it, of where like I was at my dad's house for the weekend. I was probably like maybe 7 or 8 years old, and he left me and my brother in the apartment by ourselves at night because he had to do something. I don't remember what he did. And I remember just kind of like, I had this little sort of feeling of like dread. I'm like, I don't really like being here alone, being responsible for my younger brother at this age. And like my brother was kind of upset and wasn't psyched about being alone.
Yeah, I'm
And I
waiting for
remember
Starbucks to come kick down the door and save you guys. Like, where does this go?
Yeah, well, we were watching TV and Battlestar Galactica was on. And it's one of the only memories I have of ever watching that show. And I remember it just feeling so weird and creepy and just like it. There was something about it that I found really unsettling. And again, I think it had something to do with like what was happening that night and everything. But that's the only memory I really. I just moved everything on my desk. That's the only memory I really have of the 70s show. But I really enjoyed the first chunk of the revitalized show from like the mid 2000s.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing that memory.
Yeah,
that was super uplifting. I'm glad to say my memories of this show are much more fonder. I was just a sucker for anything in space, and again, like I loved these Vipers, and even on the remake of the show that you were just talking about when they brought back the classic Viper, like so awesome. I can't even venture a guess how much this will be when it comes out, but I feel like this is something that I would buy, I would take out of the box, and I would hug. Because it would just be like one of the, when you get something and you're just so blown away to have it, like this would be something that I would be like craving my entire life to have something like this. So I hope this is a real thing. I hope it comes to fruition, and I certainly hope that it's affordable.
Yeah, it really looks awesome because again, it does look like the vehicle from the redone series as well. So I look at it and I go, oh wow, that's awesome, because I have a fondness for the redone series, at least until that boxing episode, and then I don't even care anymore.
Yeah, and we were chatting about this earlier. I want to go back and start to rewatch all of those. So
I'm curious because you never finished it, did you?
I never finished after the boxing episode. I think I tried to hang on, and then I couldn't get through the arrow of Athena and all that stuff.
Yeah, I stuck with it to the bitter end, and it got a little bit better in the last season, as my memory serves. But like I haven't watched this stuff in a long time since it was out.
Yeah, and it surprised me how old it is by now. It was like 10 years old, I think now.
I think it might even be a little older than that. But
no, it can't be. It just can't be.
No, it was because I was living in Boston when it was on, and I haven't lived in Boston since 2007. So it's been a minute.
Yeah. But it was funny because we were talking about, I'm like, I know I bought this. I was looking at like iTunes, Amazon. I'm like, I bought these episodes. I want to watch them. And then you mentioned it, the DVDs, and I'm like, that is probably what I had bought. That's where I owned it. So.
All right. Yeah, it's still cool though. I hope you get one because I'd like to see you take some fun pictures with this.
Okay. Thank you. Well, I'm after I hug it.
Yes, and call it George.
Yes, and love it and hug it and call it George. Shirts.
Well, my number 2 is basically just Super 7's entire Godzilla thing. Like, look at the left-hand side. This is what they did to their store in San Diego. They built like a Godzilla train getting eaten as the entryway to their store. And then they did inside their store, all they did was sell like Godzilla stuff. They do stuff like this every year at San Diego. They do some sort of themed thing.
That's awesome.
But this Godzilla one is just absolutely incredible.
I heard people couldn't get into the store when they went. I guess must have been that packed.
Yeah. There were lines around the block for people trying to get into it. So I think it's awesome. They didn't do any exclusives that are all that crazy. I've just put the ones up that I ended up buying. I bought the 3 reaction figures because I'm trying to maintain a complete collection of the reaction figures. And I'm such a sucker for the 1974-75 Mechagodzilla. So they had a new Mechagodzilla shirt that I grabbed that. And then they had 2 shirts that were specific to Godzilla Station, which the gimmick there was like, hey, a monster's attacking, come hide in here, we'll protect you.
Not so much.
the one in the middle is just sort of like they were all dressed up like that, and it's just like a safety thing, like, hey, Godzilla's coming and this is what you should do. And I think that's kind of cool. And then the other one is what's the monorail message at Disney World?
Please stand clear of the doors.
Yeah, basically it's that, and it's got Mechagodzilla getting his hand caught in a subway door.
They told him, they warned him.
And that amuses me. So I grabbed those shirts, I grabbed those figures. But the whole thing was awesome, and that's something I really wish I could have seen.
Yeah, like more of this stuff, right? Like this is super, super cool. Good job, Super 7. Very, very cool. Like the figures, the shirts, like going all out above and beyond. This is what I want to see at Comic-Con and beyond. So
Yeah,
well played.
good stuff. And it being Godzilla certainly doesn't hurt because it is one of my very favorite things.
Yes. Okay, so this was a surprise to me. Again, more video game stuff, right? We talked a lot about video games. Persona 5 is a video game, and it is a very, very awesome video game. And I don't really know much about Jada Toys. I know they've been releasing some Persona figures, and there's a couple
I think
other
they do
things.
Godzilla stuff too. I think they do some of the legendary Godzilla stuff.
Okay, yeah. Again, I'm not super familiar with them. I think it's cool that they're doing this, especially because I was a little late to the game with Persona figures. The game came out originally on PlayStation, and it was exclusive to PlayStation for a long time. I think it's probably like a 5-year-old game at this point now, but it eventually made its way to other consoles. And you know, I started it a while back and I kind of fell off, and I've come back. I'm about 50 hours into it. This is one of those games that's going to go on for like 100 hours. And it's cool to see that there's the potential that if I wanted, that there'll be some figures that I can get without having to go to like the secondhand market. So, you know, we have the Phantom Thieves here and Morgana there. I guess, I don't know, probably not very far along if they're showing off unpainted prototypes. But yeah, no, I'm again, like we talked about in the other episode about video games. Like this is where I'm trying to focus my buying is on the games that I love and being able to use those figures for photos and stuff. So I have the guy in the trench coat already from Good Smile Company. There's a Figma for him, but I don't have any of the others. So I'd be curious to see. Keep an eye on this. Keep an eye on you, Jada Toys, and see where you go with this. But it was a surprise. I mean, cool to see that someone else has this license and is releasing figures.
All right. Well, now we're getting to my number one, which again, it's a 2-slider. So it's the G.I. Joe stuff. Because again, G.I. Joe came hard this year for San Diego Comic-Con. There were a bunch of new reveals, including characters I'm not super familiar with, like Pythona, who I believe is from the G.I. Joe the movie. I don't know. She's very purple, that's for sure.
Sure.
The Ghost Viper, which again I think is one of their like original figures. It's not. I don't believe it's a figure from the vintage line. I think it's a figure that they've kind of cobbled together from other pieces and then just sort of tried to make it interesting looking. Again, those two aren't really for me. The Steel Core Sentry and Defense Post, that thing is neat. I think it's a really cool figure. It doesn't have the same deco as the original figure, and again the original figure I think is from 88, so it's kind of past my expiration date a little bit, but I think it's a nice looking figure. And like the modular defense post, like you can buy multiple of them and you can kind of like put them together and sort of just build out like an environment. And
will you be doing that?
No, I will not be doing that. I'm not going to be getting that figure. But the other two, Short Fuse and Steeler, those are from the 82 line, so those are absolute musts for me. I'm sort of a little bummed that they're a 2-pack Target exclusive because boy, oh boy, you do roll the dice when you buy things from Target or Walmart. But I'm really glad they're getting 2 more of the original 13 into the line, and was really, really psyched to see those.
Awesome, man. Yeah, definitely a lot of Joes. Go Joes.
Yeah. And again, it's one of those things. And I was talking to someone about it today. It might've been you. It might've been my wife, I'm not actually sure. But the thing about the G.I. Joe line that I like so much is
I hope you were not talking about this, Hillary, right off the bat. Like I hope you were talking about
I probably was. But
okay.
The thing I love about the G.I. Joe classified line is that there's always something for me. Not everything's for me, and everything doesn't have to be, but every time they announce some figures, there's always something that I'm like, awesome, I'm psyched about that. Star Wars doesn't do that. You know, He-Man doesn't always do that. But like I can count on the G.I. Joe classified. Every time they announce anything, there's always something for me. And I wish more toy lines would realize that there are different kinds of collectors. And sometimes it's nice to try to appease a bunch of them. Like there are people who are so stoked about Pythona. It doesn't matter to me, but I'm really glad that it's there to feed that fan base.
Yep. I actually have a request because Pythona is a convention exclusive, right?
Yeah, New York Comic Con.
Yes. So I have a request to pick one up for someone at New York Comic Con. So.
Well, there you go. And then the other thing that they did for G.I. Joe is they did some name-only reveals. So they revealed that they're going to be making figures of Lifeline, Iceberg, Night Viper, Hit and Run, and Big Lob. Lifeline and Iceberg are both figures I had as a kid. They're both 86 figures. Getting Iceberg, another snow person, is probably good for that terrain-specific HasLab that they're working on.
Terrain-specific, can't do it.
So I'm really psyched about those two. Night Viper could be really cool. Again, it's past my time, but we'll see what that looks like. Hit and Run, kind of a generic army-looking dude. Again, past 86, so not for me. I have no idea who Big Lob is. No clue. It is a very wacky-looking figure. I assume that he must have something to do with basketball because he appears to be very tall. But I don't know who that is. Again, I think he's a character maybe from the movie, and I don't think they did a vintage figure of him. That one I have is a more modern figure. It's the only thing I could find. But what a weird name Big Lob is.
Yeah. But like you said, something for everybody, right?
Something for there's two for me, and that's all I ask for. Just give me a little something every time.
That's awesome. Yeah, it seems like this line has been a lot of fun for you. You're getting your money's worth. There's a lot of good teases and excitement for it. So, and it's not difficult to get like it once was. So
yeah, I'm glad I took the plunge. Like it took some doing backtracking, but now that I have like the what I showed earlier, Wild Weasel. That's the last backtrack figure that I need. So now I can just kind of go forward and just keep buying new stuff. Cool. Other than there again, I do want to get the Ferret, the 4-wheeler vehicle, and that would be backtracking. But I'm gonna wait for a good deal on that.
Cool, well, awesome. I'm excited. Good number one. So yeah, you started light, and then you ended big there. Lots of good G.I. Joe stuff coming your way.
Yeah.
My turn, man. Again, Jada Toys. I don't know. They're really sticking with this Mega Man line, and like I absolutely love them for it. And it's just like they just keep going with the figures, and it's something that like I will gladly consume all, not collect.
Right.
Yes. Like it's just. It's kind of like those things, like you were saying before, like with the Tick and Chairface. It's like, well, I've invested so much in these robot bosses that I can't stop. Like I have to keep going with Guts Man and Bomb Man, and maybe even Proto Man when he hits the scene. So really, really psyched on these. I'm kicking myself because I do keep buying them, and I have not taken any out of the package yet. So like I have, within arm's reach, just like many of these guys already, but they're just so great.
Cutman's my favorite.
What's that?
Cutman and Electro Man are my two favorites.
And I mean, they really did a great job.
Yeah, I'm trying again. One of those stand down sort of situations. A question for you. So I saw pictures of it, but it's not on your thing here. So maybe it wasn't new. I don't know. But the Red Dog sled, I saw some cool pictures of that.
Yeah, I didn't see like good ones here, and the slides were. I was getting enough figures, but yeah, I am psyched on Rush as well. I have an old one. I don't know what he is, what line. Like he's probably maybe 20 years old at this point, the one I have. But yeah, that's a definite purchase as well. And it's cool how they have multiple bodies for him, so you can change him into like the sled or skateboard thing. Yeah, I mean, just keep it up. You keep making these, I will keep buying them.
All right, so I hope they're doing well by like making sure, like, okay, Mega Man 1, check. Mega Man 2, we got to make sure we have all of those. Check. Mega Man 3, like I hope they're not going all over the place and then end up leaving holes.
No, they've been good. But I hope they continue. Like I hope they just don't ever stop. Like just, if this would be cool if they did it as a subscription service. Like every month you get a new, Mega Man. I would be all in. But yeah, I'm really psyched. And again, when I talk about trying to limit my spending, Mega Man is one of those things that's just makes the cut. And well, actually, not all Mega Mans, because I know there's like some Mega Man X figures coming out I never really played those games. But if you do classic Mega Man, if you do Mega Man Battle Network figures, like I'm all in. So
very cool. Number one. I like
if they ever make that dude in the background there, the artwork from the original Mega Man game, I would buy that nightmarish figure in a heartbeat. Like that would be a great San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, like nightmarish man.
Creep Mega Man.
So creep mega dude guy who doesn't even know what he's doing there with that gun in hand. So
yeah, and he's holding a gun, which is like that's a problem in and itself.
Yes, exactly. And it's after you and I talked about this, I went and did a little digging, and there's a lot of like fun stories comparing the artwork for Mega Man games from like the US to the UK and Japan, and just showing how like I think the US just did it wrong every single time. This guy comes back for Mega Man 2, like a better version of, but he's still holding a gun in his hand. It took us a while to figure out that his arm is the cannon and he doesn't actually carry a gun, but yeah, I would buy it anyway because it's so awful.
All right, well, very good number one. So before we wrap up though, there were two crowdfunding things that were announced over San Diego Comic-Con. One that I really wanted to talk about, and I think one that you wanted to talk about, although I certainly have opinions on that one too. But I'm going to start off with the Masters of the Universe Origins one, is the Snake Lair crowdfund. So just to give a tiny little bit of backstory here, like about a year and a half or 2 years ago, they did a survey as to, hey, what do you want the next Masters of the Universe crowdfund thing to be? And they showed 4 ideas off. I don't remember what all of them were. One of them was the Snake Lair. One of them was a cartoon accurate attack track, which is the one I voted for because I thought that thing looked awesome, even though I probably wouldn't have ended up buying it because it's just too big and I wouldn't have room for it. But Snake Lair won. So San Diego Comic-Con last year, they showed the Snake Lair. Or should I say they showed a Snake Lair, because it looked absolutely nothing like the drawings that they had as part of the fan vote that won.
Whoopsie.
So people kind of went nuts going like, what are you doing? This is absolutely not what you showed. It's not what we want. And like the feedback was just super, super, super negative. So before the crowdfund started, they stopped and they said, okay, we hear you. Hold, please.
Awesome. I'm glad they did that.
Yes. So then San Diego Comic-Con comes this year, and lo and behold, here we go. We got Snake Lair, and it looks more like the original drawing. So you can't really see it because it's tough. This is about the size of Castle Grayskull. It might be a little bit taller, but it's about the size. It's got a little bit more detail in the back. The snake head thing, that's definitely got a little going on there. So there's a bunch of figures in these shots. So there's also like the two-headed snake horse thing.
Yes.
The figure riding the snake horse thing is supposed to be the early bird backing bonus. So if you back it in the first day, you get that figure.
Only the first day?
Or I don't know exactly what it was, but it's the early bird thing. So whatever time frame they were going to set for that. So the two-headed snake horse thing, that's a tier. That doesn't even come with the set.
Okay.
And then the figure right next to it, like the blue and green one that's sort of standing in the doorway, that's the second tier.
Okay.
How much do you think the crowdfund is for this thing? Knowing that the Castle Grayskull is about $80 to $90.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you just told me that one was 80, 90. So this looks like, all right, so walk me through it again. You get the snake pit thing lair.
Yep.
You get the one figure.
If you back right away.
And that's it. That's the only, then everything else is like an unlockable. That's the base.
And only two, like some of those figures are just there for scenic reasons. There's only 2 other tiers.
All right, so let me look at this. So, I mean, it's big, but it's not like, I don't see a tremendous amount going on aside from just like a large piece of plastic with some detail and paint. I'm not discounting that. I'm just saying like cost wise to manufacture this. With Castle Grayskull, you said was like $80-$90. I would say maybe 150 tops for this, maybe
Right.
120 or something.
And why would you crowdfund something at that price?
You're right. That's in discretionary spending zone, right?
Yeah.
So
this is $300.
Ooh, no, it's not. No. No.
So if it doesn't fund all of the tiers and you don't back it in the first couple days, you're just getting something the size of Castle Grayskull for $300
with one dude, right?
So imagine the feedback from that.
I'm going to say it was probably not super positive. Oh no! Again,
right before we started recording, this popped up on their website, and I think I told you, hey, I went upstairs. I had to make another slide really quick.
This is why.
It's because of this. So this crowdfund was supposed to launch tomorrow. I don't actually know what's going to happen now. I don't know if they're still going to try to launch something tomorrow with some updated news, or maybe you get more with it, or maybe everything is going to be in the base, or I don't know. Maybe they're going to talk about the price, change the price. Maybe they're going to not have the crowdfund be tomorrow now, and they're going to have to retool something. But this is the second time that they have completely crapped the bed on this playset. And again, this is not something for me anyway. I don't really need a playset. I don't have room for a playset. I especially don't need something that didn't exist when I was a kid. And again, the only reason I have a Castle Grayskull is because the price dropped to like $30. And it's just sitting in its box in my closet. They are creating so much bad will because of this. No matter what they do, I cannot see how this could possibly fund with how badly they've botched this.
Can you go back to the other slide? I want to take a look at like all this stuff one more time. So how many figures, like, are these all unlockable figures?
No.
How they had planned it? No,
Nope.
Not even. Okay. Never mind. I was going to say if there's $300 here that like, okay, back it for 300, you get all of this, but
yeah, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those figures they're just figures that exist already. And again, the person riding the horse, that will come in the base tier if you're an early bird. The horse is a tier, the dude next to the horse is a tier, and then there's the playset, and that's it.
Yeah, this I again, I don't know what I don't know, but I'm not disparaging, but I for me looking at this, like, it's hard to see that value there. That maybe 199 would be probably more reasonable.
If it came with all of that, if at a minimum it came with the horse.
Yeah, minimum with the horse. Yeah, cool. Well, developing story. Keep us posted on this one. I want to see what happens. So the second time we heard you, I think it's time for some real heart-to-heart conversation, right?
Yeah, I don't see how. I don't know what they could possibly do to make this successful now. Again, I think it's just been so badly mismanaged, and it stinks because like I love companies doing this kind of stuff, doing play sets, doing wacky new things that work with your other figures from, the nostalgia sets. Like, it's a really cool idea, but man, they are not executing.
What do you think the price should have been?
Again, for the size it is, I don't think it should have been a crowdfund. I think it should be like 150 with the horse.
Okay.
I don't know how that stuff works, but it just seems just ludicrous to me.
All right. Well, hey, I'm glad they at least are humble enough to, it's got to be tough a second time to be like, we heard you. It seems like they want to make this work. They need to do some focus group testing or something with this.
Or maybe that's the problem. Maybe they are doing focus group testing.
Too much.
Not talking to like actual fans.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll give them credit for trying. I'm curious to see, like, yeah, keep this one in our newsreel. Let's see what comes up next.
Yeah, I'm definitely curious. So then the crowdfund you wanted to speak a little bit about, and this is the very last slide. So this is it for us.
And again, I'm not being negative on all this, but they duped me. I feel duped on this because when they put out the display and there was sand all over the ground, I'm thinking, no way, Sandcrawler. I am all in on this. I got pretty psyched for that, and it's my own fault. Like, because who knows? It could have been anything. There's a lot of stuff on Tatooine, I guess that's sandy. Yeah, Sandcrawler. A lot of like. I love my Jawas. I love my droids. In my head, I started thinking about all the cool unlocks and cool things they could include with that. Like all of the droids when they come to the Lars homestead, they can include all those. It could have been a lot of fun. Hopefully it will be something they do down the road. This ship, however, is something that just is not for me in the least. I have no affection for this ship whatsoever. It looks cool. From what I've known, they've released this ship many times already, but I don't know. I didn't see what the response to this was because once I saw it wasn't for me, I kind of like checked out. But I think the price was up there, like
$450.
Okay.
It is currently at 2,681 backers. Their target is 800. There's 39 more days to go. So it's been several days, and it's
how many backers? Say that one more time. How many backers does it have?
It has 2,681.
And what is the target?
8,000.
Oh, 8,000. Okay, got it.
Yeah, so in comparison, the Snowcat that people are annoyed about had over 5,000 after 24 hours.
Yeah. Again, like you, I don't want to speak bad of these things. I love companies taking a chance, and maybe they're not all meant to succeed, right? And everyone speaks with their wallet on these, but this one is not for me. $450 for this seems like a lot of money. Again, I have not looked at this closely though. I imagine it's huge. I imagine it's got lots of details. I imagine it's got lots of deco and whatnot. But
here's the thing, like. In my opinion, and not just my opinion, I'm not unique in saying this. If you're going to crowdfund something, it should be the holy cow. This would never get made unless we did this. Like, all right, come on, everybody. It's time to rally and let's do something special.
Yeah.
They've made this vehicle like 6 or 7 times or something, I read. Like, yes, it's bigger and it certainly is nicer and a lot better looking, but like, why would you not put your energy into something a little more unique? And like, I don't even care which trilogy it's from, because like, obviously anything, if you're talking about Attack of the Clones, you're not going to talk about a Star Wars thing that I have less interest in than that specific movie. But like, lots of people like it. Lots of people love the clones because these are in Clone Wars and stuff too. All cool. But why would you do a vehicle that exists already?
Yeah, so that exists multiple times, right? Yeah, you're gonna lose that wow moment, and sometimes just because it's big is not enough, because since it's big, it has a big price tag, right? So that's not like oh my god, it's huge. It's like it's huge and it has a it's gonna cost.
Where's it gonna sit?
Where's it gonna sit? They should have done the Sandcrawler. They should have talked to me. I don't know if people would even care about a Sandcrawler. Would you care about a Sandcrawler?
It's not the right scale for me. So no, not really. But again, that's because I don't collect vintage collection figures. If it was a Black Series one, no, because it would be the size of my house.
Yeah, but, hold that thought. Like, you talk about a Black Series scale one.
Yeah, it would be pretty ridiculous. Oh, hang on. You okay?
I'm good. No, I was just saying, you're talking Black Series scale. This is just half of one tread.
I don't know if that's half of a tread.
Maybe there's a little piece in the middle too. But like, can you imagine how huge that would be? It would be. It would be amazing.
It would, but like, again, it's not realistic. It's not anything. But like, I think it's a bummer that they've never tried to do any other Black Series HasLab stuff. And again, like, my biggest problem with all of the, I hate being so negative about this stuff today. I feel really guilty about that. But all of the Star Wars Black Series news coming out of San Diego Comic-Con was just so depressing to me. I feel like they've completely given up on original trilogy figures, other than remaking ones that they've made already, reusing the tooling and all of that stuff to just keep making the same figures over and over and over again. There's at least a dozen vintage Kenner figures that have never gotten a Black Series counterpart. And I don't understand why they can't do this. And you and I talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
What sort of fan discussion could they possibly be doing to have not made a gonk yet? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, who are they making these I know you really like the video game figures, and again, I'm very happy for you. That's awesome. I'm glad you're getting stuff that you like. But like, come on. Like, what about the people who are trying to get the original trilogy figures sorted out?
You guys are too old and bitter. Nothing makes you happy.
I don't know. I
hear you.
It really bums me out on the whole line. And like, I spend a lot of time looking at my Black Series shelf over there, just going like, can I consolidate this? Can I like make more room for something else that I'm more excited about? Should I sell some of these figures? Which the answer to that is yes. Why I have those Bad Batch figures, I'll never know. Yeah. But like it bums me out because I feel like, okay, you're not helping. Like, I can't grow this collection. You're not letting me grow. And if you're not moving forward, you're standing still. And if you're standing still, you're
in the way.
You're falling back or whatever. Yeah. But
if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. Quit being part of that problem. Yeah. No, I get it. And you'd think like, kind of like what you're talking about G.I. Joe, where there's something for everybody. You think that they'd be able to slice, okay, this next wave, let's get one character from the original trilogy. Let's do this and keep it. So then I think you're going to appease a lot of fans. I don't know. I don't want to belabor the point. I don't know what's happening over there. I trying to think of some of the reveals. They finally announced the stranger, right, from the Acolyte.
Yeah, that was cool. And I'm psyched that it's sold out.
What's that? It's sold out immediately?
It's sold out, yeah.
Oh. Was it exclusive, that one?
No, it's just super in demand and sought after. And that, to me, that I feel good. I really liked that show a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I already have a custom one. Yeah. That's a bummer. I mean, that's great that it's sold out and they make more, but I also feel like you really took your time with that one, right?
Yeah. They took the scenic route.
Yeah. Well, it's disappointing, Black Series. And I know it's not just us. Like, anyone, I feel like, who has collected Black Series or is into it, I think a lot of people are feeling that. Like, and it's not that they're rooting against Black Series. You just wanted to succeed, but they're like Snake Lair. They're kind of they're not listening.
Yeah. Yep. Don't know what the deal is over there. Again, it bums me out a little bit, but it was certainly a relatively newsworthy San Diego Comic-Con when we first started. Before it happened, we were talking about doing this episode. It's like, all right, man, we're going to have a lot. And then as it happened, and I started thinking about what I wanted to talk about, I'm like, man, there's not nearly as much as I thought. But then when I started digging into it, I'm like, oh, there's plenty to talk about here.
Yeah. I appreciate you, Toy Arc, for, having great photos, letting us pilfer those for this. I watched some streams, I watched some panels, and I don't know, it makes me worried about New York Comic Con. If San Diego was like this, then New York is it's going to be pretty chill.
As long as you get me my Jawa Christmas ornament, that's all. Then it's.
Wait, there's a Jawa Christmas one this year?
Yeah. So you know how last year you got me the Tusken Raider, like
the little figure thing.
They made a vinyl cape. The vinyl cape Jawa is the convention exclusive ornament this year at Hallmark. So.
Oh yes, I'm gonna have to get one of those for myself too this year. So awesome, I'm on it. I gotcha. That's I could do that.
All right, very nice. Well, anyway, we're gonna have to see about next week. Next week might be challenging to do a show. And if we do one, it might have to be a wacky day. So we'll talk, and then we'll let everybody know out in the world, and then just kind of see what happens next.
Awesome. Well, happy Comic-Con. Yeah. Until next year.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.
All right. See you guys.
Perfectly excellent.